Following the recent protests and road blockages, President Ilir Meta has called for reflection, demanding all parties to bear their responsibility and explaining that violence and destruction are things the country simply cannot afford. More than 50% of the over 700 Albanians imprisoned in the UK for criminal acts are from the northern districts, including Shkodra, with the British ambassador to Albania declaring the UK is committed to fighting the causes. Prime Minister Edi Rama has underlined that it will be the youth who will be recruited into the tourism sector in order to bring positive energy to recruit tourists to Albania. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Friday the 6th of April 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. In the middle of a political debate about the national highway tariff, President Ilir Meta has appealed to the majority and the opposition for dialogue. The head of the state said that the government should be more careful about the decisions it makes, as citizens have the right to seek transparency. Regarding the violence, Meta said that the country is utilising all its resources, with not even a flower to be picked without causing disruption to the budget. Unnecessary tensions and conflicts must be avoided. The country has no luxury to cut off even a flower. It is necessary that any governance-related decision be studied well. I hope for general reflection, especially on the need for dialogue, to help to improve the governance of the country as well as trust and respect for joint institutions, said Ilir Meta. Regarding the calls of the Democratic Party leader, who told citizens not to pay taxes that, according to him, are unfair, Meta had this to say: "I think this country stands on the base of the contribution of every citizen, but also of every taxpayer. And in this regard, the government, but also the opposition, should increase cooperation and transparency in respect of Albanian citizens." At the conclusion, when asked about his decision not to decree Helidon Bendo as the head of the State Intelligence Service, President Meta refused to comment. The British ambassador to our country has once again raised concerns about Albanian criminality operating in Great Britain. At a meeting for crime prevention with representatives of local government in Shkodra and deputies of this region, Ambassador Duncan Norman said that there are about 700 Albanian prisoners in England and over 50% of them are from the northern region and Shkodra. "I'm not talking about illegal emigration, but about crime and drugs. Crime seriously damages the country. Only bad comes from organised crime. We have been fighting organised crime for a long time, but the results have to be achieved together. All must be included: the police, social services, local community and politics. The United Kingdom will also help Albania for the long-term period," said Duncan Norman. The ambassador said he understands the reasons for the emigration of Albanians, adding that the focus is not on these individuals, but on the traffickers that promote this illegal activity. "I understand why immigrants seek to come to England. They want a better life for themselves or their children. They go through great dangers to come to England. But what I'm saying is something else, as our focus is not on these individuals, but on the traffickers that promote this illegal activity," said Duncan Norman. Meanwhile, the mayor of Shkodra, Valtana Ademi, said organised crime is a problem and Albania continues to be a country of drug production and trafficking. Unfortunately, even people from the police are involved, even politicians, as with the case of former Minister Tahiri. Drug trafficking figures are alarming. The situation would not be so serious if it wasn't for the cooperation between the criminals and the police structures, said Valtana Ademi. Unlike Prime Minister Edi Rama, President Ilir Meta is concerned about the high number of immigrants. In the event developed with the Student Alliance, the head of the state brought figures about the reduction in the number of student-aged people in Albania. Instat data shows that in 2017, the population of the age group 15 to 44 years, which is the most active and most vital part of the labour market, reduced by 162,000 people when compared to 2001, said Ilir Meta. Meta said this should be seen as an alarming signal. "Only these statistics suffice to show how alarming the situation is for the future of our economy and society. Demographic changes and emigration must be a primary issue of the governing program." Meta stressed that opportunities should be created so that young people can make their contribution to Albania. "Create conditions so that our educated youth do not have to leave abroad for opportunities," said Ilir Meta. According to the president, it is necessary to establish independent thinking in Albania beyond political institutions, and the establishment of this alliance is a strong and positive signal. Businessmen from Albania, Kosovo, Macedonia, as well as other countries from across the region have gathered in Tirana for a special exhibition on tourism. In his opening speech, Prime Minister Edi Rama underlined the importance of developing agro-tourism. We will create facilities for all those entrepreneurs, individuals or families that will aim to build agro-tourism structures throughout the rural areas of Albania, said Edi Rama. But cultural tourism also remains extremely important. To bring a different spirit, Rama stressed that young people will be recruited to bring positive energy. A significant number of girls and boys will be recruited specifically for this program in order to convey a positive energy to all those who visit Albania, said Edi Rama. For the Minister of Tourism and Environment, Blendi Klosi, Albanian tourism is emerging from adolescence. But the tradition of organising things at the last minute remains a serious problem. So he asked for a change of strategy. Because of the change of Albania's image in recent years, we have guaranteed the tourists, but not yet guaranteed tourism. If we want to go far, we should think beyond the next season. We need to create an industry that generates income, prosperity and employment for citizens in the long term. When this industry is created, we will no longer talk about tourist seasons because we will have tourism operating year-round, said Blendi Klosi. Minister Klosi also underlined that illegal constructions and violations of the rules will not be tolerated. Mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, and the Euro-parliamentarian, Knut Fleckenstein, have inaugurated the multifunctional community centre newly opened at the Bregory Lumit area, where 170 families in need and 300 children between the ages of 4 and 15 will benefit from social services. The Mayor stressed the importance of why street children should be part of such centres and urged citizens to notify the authorities if they see a child on the street. It is very necessary that, if there are other children in a street situation, to invite them here. It is not the duty of a child to go on the streets and beg for money. So if you know of other kids whose parents force them onto the streets, let us know in order to bring them here, so they also have the same chance and opportunity to move forward in life. The more we learn now and the more we make up for lost time, the better we will be for tomorrow, said Erion Veliaj. From his part, Fleckenstein said that this centre will be an environment for the youth and people in need. We want to help you become powerful and wise. I want you to promise me that when you grow up, you will become more powerful. You will be the ones who will contribute to this country becoming a better place, said Knut Fleckenstein. This community centre, in addition to educating young people, will also pay close attention to the empowerment of the elderly and other groups in order to ensure their participation in community development. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.